The normal people are crashing out over this problematic female body type by ref. Interesting. So basically what this is about, it's about Frieren and the way Frieren looks and people not being able to differentiate fiction and reality. But even then, these people are so mentally ill, they will call you child if you as a woman are flat, right? You have nothing going on there. Or short, right? Right? Remember, the height of consent, the eye size of consent, the heads of consent. Remember those. It's just like we get the idea. And since I love Frieren, I haven't started season 2 yet because, well, I don't want to. I want to wait until it's done, and then I'm gonna force my mom to sit through Frieren with me again. Petite women. Basically, they do not like petite women because if you like petite women, you must obviously like children, right? Because it's not enough to infantilize women and basically acting like women can't do no wrong and you know, need to be protected at all costs. They can't make their own decisions, right? We must also now reduce them to their body being childlike, right? Because that's obviously not a thing. And these people would basically, right? There was a case where like a guy was called a PDF because, right, his girlfriend had really small hands, right? Legal adult, by the way, but really small hands on Twitter. They were calling this guy a PDF. Not on Twitter, on TikTok. Really weird behavior, right? Or like, remember that one girl that cosplayed a character from One Punch Man, but since she's short and petite, they completely went mad and called her a PDF and shit. It's just so crazy. That word has lost all meaning. We've completely lost it, but there's definitely people, right? For example, my aunt still had to show her ID in her mid-30s because cashiers would still believe she looks like a child. Now in the like late 40s, it's different, but when she was in her mid-30s, she still had to show her ID. And my ex also had to show her ID, even though like old enough, right? Even though grown woman in her 20s.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. Welcome back to another round of Twitter users treating fictional characters like they're real people, and real people like they're fictional characters, and getting mad at you for knowing the difference. So what's causing outrage this time in the realm of fictional content? Well, this time it is Frieren. This time people are upset about character designs, in particular Frieren, because they believe her design is extremely problematic. Now, this is a very popular franchise, and when the anime came...
See, there's also something really funny that I'm just gonna straight up say. You complain about these characters looking like minors, but I never see these people call out underage sex scenes in Western media. When Steve Harrington was cracking Nancy Wheeler in Stranger Things, nobody was batting an eye. Nobody was like, wait a minute, that's weird. In other shows, when there's minors cracking, basically, right? Teenagers, no problem. That's no issue. But with fictional characters, you draw the line. That's some very weird, very odd standard you have created here.
Now, it exploded, especially in the West, bringing in a lot of new anime fans. And when you do that, you bring in a lot of tourist and usual suspects as well. And they've been trying to basically come up with any reason to complain about this series. In fact, we talked about this before.
No, not this fucker again. It's just crazy. By the way, they literally call Frieren fascist. You know why? Because they self-insert themselves as a minority into the you need to realize these people associate with the demons in Frieren. Right? You need to these people are associating with the pure evil in that show. Right? Right? That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the problem. It's so weird. Like, why you insert self? Like, do you want to tell us something? You know, I watched the vid talking about anime. The guy basically brought up the point on how people who like certain characters will also judge for liking a girl who looks 25 but is 16. They're fictional characters. To me, they do not matter, bro. Like, they have no age. They have no. I don't give a shit.
People were trying to say that Frieren was fascist propaganda. Really? Yeah, they were doing this because they believe Frieren's desire to not coexist with demons in the series was the product of fascism. Yes, the 100% irredeemably evil demons. That's what we're talking about. In fact, some people got...
Yeah, basically, these demons, they look human, right? They can speak, basically, right? But they're not human, right? They're technically monsters who took on human forms and speech. They essentially use words to manipulate humans to kill them, because basically they're just like predators hunting for prey, right? And like they do not, for example, get the concept of family. They do not get the concept of what is it? They do not get the concept of like love. They're really just like low-wise. They're absolute and pure evil. They're technically on the level of animals with the ability to speak.
Got a little too woke and started saying that the demons in the series are allegories for real-life minorities. Yeah, they actually went there. But one thing I always found interesting is that despite the popularity of the series and the petite design of Frieren, there wasn't a lot of complaints about it, which I thought was pretty interesting given Twitter's bloodlust towards anything that looks petite. But of course, our luck has run out, and we've gotten a post that's gone viral here talking about Frieren's design, and people are seething. And they're not just seething, they're
always rock solid. Flat chest, no ass, short elf ears. This is the ideal female body. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. I won't discriminate against flat.
being giant hypocrites, they're exposing themselves, they're showing their jealousy. It's a mess. But let's read it real quick. Flat chest, no behind, short, elf ears. This is the ideal female body. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. So again, this is sort of a meme format here.
Obviously, right. It's not like 100% meant that way. Right? It's not 100% meant that way, right? It's just meant as a joke, obviously. Whatever you like, you like. I don't discriminate, but whatever you like, you like. It's fine. For in a peak anime, though, well, according to some people, it might not be.
And we're talking about Frieren, a fictional character, okay? It's not that deep. But I will say this. Every single attribute listed here, I have made a video covering people using those descriptions to label someone as a predator when talking about fictional characters even. And you might be saying, Rev, really? Elf ears? Yes, that actually happened as well. I made a video about a year ago about this, where a cosplayer...
What? Huh? Elves are a common fantasy trope and have nothing... Wait, y'all are aware that the whole elf stuff alludes to... What? Yeah, but the problem is that elves are usually depicted as youth. That argument doesn't even count because elves are usually depicted as very youthful because they age much slower. What is that? What is that? What are we doing? The fuck? Yo. So basically, I can just tell my my sister finds Legolas hot, right? I could just literally tell her you're a PDF because you like elves. Because you like pointy ears. Diabolical, bro. We are so fucking cooked. Boobs are boobs. Real. We are so cooked, bro. Poker likes elves, by the way, if y'all didn't know. Yes, I do. Elves are peak. Peak race.
was being called a pedobaiter because they would wear elf ears in their cosplays. People are absolutely deranged. But let's return to the original.
Yeah, obviously, right? Sometimes you just see kids with pointy ears. Because obviously, children are born with pointy ears. We have real life elves out there. There's even orcs, though they usually look like fat, overweight women. But that's besides the point. Wait, fat women are overweight. Wait, hold up. You get the idea. Damn pointy ears, rocket stone, crazy.
Post that has nearly 9 million views. Okay, this thing popped off. And you can see one of the top replies with 27,000 likes says, yeah, if you're a predator, if you like this design or these attributes. And then some women in the reply say, man, I'm an adult woman and I look like that. Then down here, this individual says, same, I'm 31, 4'11", flat chest, flat booty. Unfortunately, no elf ears though. Ah, you missed the most important feature out of the whole thing, the elf ears. But as you can see, there are women.
And I feel like it's kind of sad. You're essentially telling women, if they are petite, or if they happen to look much younger than they appear, you're essentially telling them that they are not allowed to exist. And you're putting them on the same level as children. You're essentially infantilizing adult women. It's really funny. So, it's like, there's like this weird thing we have going on where like, if a woman has like big boobs, big butt, whatever, right? She's like sexualized. She's like, ugh. And then it's like, you have none of that. You're a child. You're pedo baiting. Women cannot win. Women cannot win. So I'm not allowed to like women who are built like that. I'm 6 foot, by the way. Bro out here making ads for himself. Apparently not. Apparently not. Again, like I said, there was a mentally deranged person who called a man a PDF because his girl had small hands compared to him. And I'm like, hands? The hand of consent? We have completely destroyed that word. And I'm gonna tell you this eventually just means nothing.
Adult women who fit the description that was contained in the above tweet. But these people are...
Eventually, this word will reach the same thing as Nazi or racist. And people are literally just gonna be like, okay, so? And you will never ever be able to actually find actual ones because you call everyone that. That's why I have most of the problem with... That's why I have most of the problem with the, fictional content, help! Hold up here, hear me out. What if we just like women of all body types? I know, I'm crazy, lock me up. That'd be pretty cool. Unfortunately, we live in a world where big boobs, sexualized. No boobs, child. That is the reality we live in.
Unironic misogynists, okay? I don't use that term lightly because it is a buzzword on Twitter, but these people body shame women for being short or being flat or any of these things. And they basically say because of your body type that you have no control over in some cases, you are unlovable. And anyone who finds you attractive is some sort of a predator. That is incredibly misogynistic. And you can see how many people really back this up. This tweet says, so basically a child, referring to these attributes. This tweet got, can you see it?
93,000 people who will call you a PDF. Should your girlfriend be flat? Essential, petite, basically. Isn't that insane?
93,000 likes. I think if you want to keep your sanity, you're going to have to assume or hope this is a lot of botting. But there could be 93,000 sentient human beings who liked and agreed with this sort of premise. And this tweet will be deleted, or has been deleted, but I got a screenshot of the community note, that's why they deleted it, by the way, reminding this totally sane individual that adults can have flat chests, flat waists, and be short without being a child. So, yeah.
This also, what I realize is, this might be also a tiny bit racist coded, considering that a lot of Asians overall flat, right? There's lots of flat Asian women, right? You know what? I'm tired of pretending I can't take it anymore. I think all boobs are great. Put me in solitary confinement. I know all boobs are great. I stand with all boobs. I like no fan service anime. I like fan service. A little fan service is fine, right? Obviously, no over the, like, nothing over the top, right? I don't want to be bombarded constantly with fan service, but like, I like fan service. I don't mind. It's fine. Not if it's not straight up corn, I'm okay with that. it also is what makes anime a lot of money. That's just it is an important culture part.
Also, again, we're talking about an elf in a fictional setting, but the original poster, like I said, would delete it and then say, ratio so good, all the guys with anime profile pictures are getting emotional. Sorry guys, I know the algo chose me this time. Understand this. The above tweet that's deleted had 93,000 likes. Their reply has 11. That's why people are accusing this of being botted. This person in the reply underneath their own tweet is getting 11 likes versus the top that had 93,000. Make it make sense. But then this goofball, this cornball here, replies to this individual saying, "Dog, we know you botted this."
Again, Shin Yaoi Tard. Why am I even surprised? Why am I even surprised?
And they say, "Do you envy me? Do you want me to buy you some for your post too, my little Omega?" And then posts characters that would fall under the exact same description that they...
Which is like funny. Okay, never mind. But you know, they don't like the same argument. He looks like a minor, but he's really 500 years. Fuck off. Too much of something is not good. But that goes for a lot of things. Keeping it balanced also goes better more often than not. Yeah. I agree.
They labeled as something that predators are attracted to. But they weren't done there. They said, no way these dudes really think I want to be a part of the team where people are mocking their post and other information about their accounts. They have 1 like on this. Remember, they had 93,000. Their subsequent posts, separate from it, are getting 1 like versus 34 comments, all dunking on them, okay? This account we're talking about has 18...
Bro, it makes me so mad that these mentally ill people have just infiltrated Uma Musume. These, like, the Yuri tards and everything. And I'm like, bro, this game is specifically targeted at dudes. What is going on with you? Like, it is absolutely diabolical. It is absolutely diabolical. I hate so much how the global fandom has turned out.
1,500 followers. And they can't even break more than 1 like on a tweet. So the botting accusations, definitely something to be considered in this scenario. But of course, the projection is going to continue. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of tweets like this. I'm not joking. People completely going mask off. This person saying, "Free my girl Frieren" from this...
And then they're like complaining, right? Those are the same people complaining about, like, right? At the end of the day, these are the same exact people who would like complain if women would start going for like beauty surgeries and stuff to get bigger breasts because they are being told that they're not good enough because they don't because they're not as stacked. I find that so weird, but that's the exact same people. Yet again, StarRail is giving another limited free 5-star next patch. That's the 4th or 5th time. Yeah, but also that game has a huge problem with HP. It's just a number simulator. Every time I see a clip, it's just number simulator. It's just very funny. Funny horse girls go brr. Yeah, I love Uma Musume. I just really hate the global fandom. The JP fandom is much more chill.
Predatory ass fandom. That's interesting. You're basically saying this stuff is predatory, this content, and then you say...
See, here's the thing. Bro watches Frieren, but cults the fandom PDFs. So you watch an anime that a lot of PDFs watch, by your logic, which means you're supporting PDFs. Oh yeah, boycott the game, but continue playing it, you fucking idiot. You do this, lose do that, lose do anything. You lose basically. Remember when Genshin was announced for Switch? That's not happening ever. That's not happening ever. I would have liked to see if Enfield would have come to Switch too. That could have worked. Chorus Yiddies, slap 'em. real. I'm really waiting for Rest's video on advanced GG because he said he would make one. We're gonna watch that because he and his wife were dropped by one of their major sponsors because he criticized somebody. They didn't like that, and then the entire virtue signaling VTuber community was just basically canceling advanced GG. Yeah, people with 200 followers on Twitter and like 10 CCV, like concurrent viewers. Those were the people that did this. It's funny.
It's basically your favorite because it's your girl Frieren. So this guy's a predator for liking Frieren, but that's your girl? So what does that make you? These people, like, literally, they're like...
There's another category. ZZZ players who continue to play ZZZ, but complain that the game is literally like more and more starting to cater to lolicons. I find that very funny. I find that those are also a special breed, right? I don't play ZZZ, but still, that is a very special breed of people. I don't like what ZZZ is doing, but I'm gonna continue playing. If games like Resident Evil 9 and Pragmata are coming to Switch to Enfield as possible, maybe even Wuwa, hopefully that'd be pretty cool.
Rubbing together like their last 2 brain cells to type out these quotes. Here's a reply saying, maybe if she didn't look 10. If this looks like a 10-year-old, or this looks like any sort of a real child, you are projecting so hard, it's actually insane. Here's some more. This person saying, get my wife's name out of your mouth, you tourist.
I find that very funny because this is a Dragon Ball profile. Does anybody remember what Bulma did to Master Roshi in classic Dragon Ball? Does anybody remember the way Kid Chi-Chi looked in Dragon Ball? Does anybody remember that?
Predator. Again, the self-owns are insane. You're calling someone a predator for liking this character, and then you call it your wife. Make it make sense. And then, speaking of tourist, you have a Dragon Ball profile picture. Do we need to remind you some of the early seasons of Dragon Ball where there was content that was way, way more extreme than this, that if you consumed that or someone else consumed it, a person like this would consider it very problematic? But let's continue.
Like, bro is a Dragon Ball fan, calls somebody a predator, yet your mangaka, and I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, literally drew Bulma showing her cooch to Master Roshi as a teenager. What is going on? You are odd. Also, is that looks like a peanut one, but it's not. Do you ever think they can make a better Zelda than TOTK in the future? Hot take. I don't want another TOTK or Breath of the Wild. I'm gonna be honest, I don't particularly like that style. Give me a classic one. Thank you. Give me a classic Zelda for once. Dungeons, items for dungeons. Please, I beg of you. Does anyone even remember when Oolong literally kidnapped girls for his harem in classic Dragon Ball? Yeah, that's what I'm like saying. You can't be talking shit as a Dragon Ball fan. Definitely not. 100% not.
Another form of just insane lack of self-awareness. This person saying, where in the ditty is this ideal? And this person says, saying that with a Monogatari profile picture is crazy work. And this person says, what are you even trying to prove? That entire series has multiple characters with a build like Frieren. In fact, probably even more towards that direction. And that series is incredibly lewd. And it's your profile picture while you're calling people Diddy for liking something even more tame than what you're dedicating your profile picture to. It's insane. And all these people with their obsession with Epstein is crazy. Epstein or Diddy.
By the way, I find it grotesque and really disrespectful to use that in that context. Because this man, according to what we've seen recently due to the recent leaks and the recent releases, no, it's like Coughing baby. Like, EDP would be a coughing baby in comparison to what this man, from what we have seen so far, did. This is like a hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby. You could actually making comparison like that to just a random Twitter account is just crazy work.
Or whatever. I mean, this one right here, like who has this saved to their phone? That's absolutely deranged behavior. But guess what? 43,000 likes. These people are off their rocker, dude. Here's another insane form of projection. Looks like a child animated, looks like they're supposed to be 10. You're weirds, you're a creep, ew, gross, what's wrong with these people? Then in the replies, someone says she is perfect. And then the original poster says, I'm prettier. Posting
Hello Kitty Gold, red flag. But also a man cannot call out somebody's anime girly if the anime profile pic he uses is from something that had some stuff much worse that they themselves would call out. So basically a dumbass, pretty much. Coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb begin.
an image of themselves wearing, I guess it's Sanrio, while being petite.
Here's the thing, petite, but also a lot of stuff that you would assume would be to a little girl, right? Like plushies, also like, clean up your room, man. Shit looks worse than Asmongold at this point, which is crazy to say that, but it's true.
What are we doing? Is it jealousy or what? What is going on? And then we have this. Sometimes it's worth Googling female anatomy, bro. A woman like that won't be able to carry a child for many reasons. Go get some treatment. What is this person even talking about? Guys, guess what? Petite women, they can't have children according to this Twitter user. Also, by the way, Google female anatomy. We're talking about a fictional character. What are you even doing? Why are you going off about real people? And also, we're talking about like...
Also, not gonna... She's a whore. Again, I'm not surprised. She's a whore, I'm not surprised. Also, it's like... Also, Frieren won't have children. My assumption is that she's gonna die by the end of the series. Right? As like the whole thing is about reaching heaven. Essentially. Right?
All this stuff, like... This is a cosplayer. This is someone making adult content. And they're doing cosplays of the series, Frieren. And now they're projecting over this type of stuff. It's like the ultimate hypocritical behavior. But, of course, at the end of the day, this whole thing is very simple. And the original poster would follow up on their own post saying, to all the quote retweets I will say, if you hear flat chest and no behind, and the first thing you think of is children, it honestly says a lot more about you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is a good point to leave this video on. People on Twitter have absolutely fried their brains. I don't even know. This whole video is filled with so many examples of hypocrisy, projection, even jealousy, all over someone describing accurately a popular anime character. So I guess Frieren is now problematic. Rip Bozo, I guess that's the way it is. Hopefully this kind of gets some people out of the way. You know, it gatekeeps, it filters people, and less people will be interested in the new coming season, which people are super hyped for. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video.
Anyways, guys. Love the petite women. The petite women are also women. They're not children. For one. Second, don't lose your mind over fictional characters. You might be mentally unwell. And third, clap elves to repopulate their population, because there's not many left. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.